Welcome to Horrors Yet Unseen, the horror movie podcast where we make each other watch films the other guy hasn't seen, and then review them.
Each episode will have spoiler-free reviews, followed by no-holds-barred spoiler-full breakdowns. So sit back, relax, and let's talk about some scary movies.
That was fantastic.
I was Muppet dancing, by the way.
I figured that. Yeah.
Because of the hands, on the sticks.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my only kind of dancing I do.
Muppet dancing?
Yeah.
I mean, you could transition that into like marionette.
But...
Well, you could transition that into marionette dancing. Same kind of principle.
Yeah. I could just say it's marionette dancing and call it that.
Or you could just say it's the Kermit, and then you're cool.
Oh, the Kermit. Good. It's got a name.
Right?
Like Crank That Soldier Boy.
Well,
or the...
I was thinking it ain't easy being green,
mashed
but
potato.
I think that has its own dance, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a mashed potato dance, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you can do the Crank That Soldier Boy in any kind of any song, isn't it?
Can you?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. It's a leg thing. You wouldn't understand.
Oh, wow. Okay. Wow.
So how you been, Zach?
I'm fine. Can't you read? My little title down there says, I swear I'm fine.
Oh, right. Yeah, totally believe that, yeah.
I'm 100% fine. Everything's fine.
Good.
Just
good,
fine.
Good,
I'm fine.
Good.
Thank you for
You're
asking.
fine. Everything's fine.
Yes, everything's fine.
The world is not on fire.
No, the world's not on fire. But, the state of my mental capacity is in flux.
Oh, well. It's going to be in flux. I'm going to
Is
get bored.
I'd rather not be in flux. I'd rather it not be in flux. Yeah, so how are you, Steve? Are you shrooming it up over there in Colorado?
I'm not shrooming it up. I have received the shrooms.
Oh.
Yeah, I went to the little meetup thing yesterday, and people started just piling this all these mushrooms in little Ziploc baggies. Just pile them on this table and grab what you want. It's all these strains. Yeah, all these strains of mushrooms and stuff. And I found out the place
free samples.
What? No, I've got several grams of mushrooms, quite a few, and I got they had this kit to grow them.
Okay,
they're just giving it away, a syringe full of certain kind of mushroom strain or something.
Do you have a syringe?
Yeah, they put the what are the spores in this liquid substrate sort of thing, and you squeeze it in this bag full of seeds or something, and then it grows the mycelium network. And you put that in the substrate, and then it's 6 months later you got shrooms. Or I can take the candies the guy gave me, which would, I don't know what that would do. I'm sure it's all fine.
Yeah, I'm sure it's all fine. Okay, well,
it's all fine.
Yep. On the next episode of this podcast, whatever it's called, I forgot the name of our own podcast. Steve's gonna be on shrooms.
Yeah. I'm not gonna be on shrooms. No.
That's not accurate.
Coach Beard did shrooms all the time.
I know, and that's what I'm saying. If it's
also
good enough for Coach Beard,
well,
it should be good enough for this podcast.
Okay.
I feel like that should be that's a life motto, right?
Sure.
No,
it's good enough for Beard. It's good enough for me.
Yeah. Jeez.
No.
I have a beard. You don't.
Yeah, I don't. No.
It's good enough for Beard.
Well, why don't we move on to what did you did you go to watch anything this week?
I watched several things this week. Yes.
Shut right up.
I'm so sorry.
Shut the front door.
I'm gonna go out the back.
All right.
Shut the front, go out the back. That's what I say.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm talking about an actual back door, though, not my butthole.
Oh no! I was talking about your back door too. You have to get all
no. I know you were talking about
it.
No, you were talking about my back door. I'm not talking about my back door. I'm talking about an actual back door. You said shut the
so was
front
I.
door.
Yeah.
So okay.
I know what you're talking about.
Okay. Well. Yeah, what do you just have amnesia all of a sudden? Just spontaneous amnesia, conversational amnesia.
I mean, I was talking about your actual back door, so.
Well, okay. Well, I wasn't talking about my rectum. Damn near killed him. Like, it's so stupid.
We've gone too far.
Hey, listen.
Back up. Pull out.
Is all of it. No. Not gonna do that.
Gotta cut this out.
Don't cut it out. This is the best part of the podcast. It's all downhill it's all downhill from here. We just got to talking about back doors for a second.
Well,
Okay, so what I watched this week. I swear we're not on shrooms. I swear.
No.
They're not legal in Ohio, but that wouldn't stop me. Let's be honest with ourselves. I broke down and I watched the Netflix show How to Become a Tyrant. I told you that I was going to swear that
not you watched the cult one last time.
I watched the cult one.
Okay.
Yeah, How to Become a Cult Leader, and I was like, you know what? Based on the political climate, probably going to stay away from How to Become a Tyrant because I don't want my back door to explode. Like, But I was like, you know what? Quit being a snowflake. And then I'm just kidding. And then I watched it, and I'm still here. And I got to tell you, Steve.
Well, yeah.
I think we could do this. I don't think it's hard. Yeah. Either that or the show did its job in making me think that I could do this. Like, because the show's basically a guidebook on how to become a cult leader and then how to become a tyrant. I mean, that's the freaking title of both series,
Can you combine them and be a tyrant cult leader?
Most cult leaders are tyrants. Let's be honest with ourselves. So yeah, you could very easily become. You can't become a tyrant at first if you're going to become a cult leader. You have to like schmooze and woo people. But then once you get enough people and money and whatnot, then you just drop the hammer and start, tightening it up and whatnot. So yeah, that's basically it. People are susceptible to really freaking just anything. And, also a lot of this stuff, like I was thinking about this with the cult leader stuff. What the heck was the 70s? Because almost every single cult leader, like that they portrayed in this How to Become a Cult Leader, was from the 1970s. Like they started in like the 60s maybe, and then really transitioned to actual cult leader status in the 70s. And I'm like, you get a DeLorean, dude. All I'm saying is, with the knowledge that we have now, you get a DeLorean, you go 88 mile an hour.
Right, 88?
And you stick it to 1960, January 1st. No, actually, let's go December 31st, 1959. Let's celebrate New Year's, okay? Let's celebrate New Year's, 1960, okay? But then, I think we could do it. That's all I'm saying. And I don't think we get caught. I think one of us should become, at that point, one of us branch off, become a serial killer. The other one branch off and become a cult leader. See who gets caught first. I think that's the game. That's the goal, right there.
That's the goal. It's the American dream.
I call cult leader.
Okay.
Listen, you should have called it first. That's all I'm saying. You should have called it. Jeez, don't you understand about dibs? Anyway, so I watched that.
Don't you understand about dibs?
Jeez,
I didn't realize a cult leader was a thing you can call dibs on.
In this completely fictional, like
wait, this is fictitious? We're not serious here? I thought it was,
DeLorean's actually, I hate to break it to you, but Back to the Future was not a documentary.
Really?
Yeah. Don't you think that if Michael J. Fox had gone back to the past, he would have tried to, or like went to the future, he would have seen he had Parkinson's and try to figure out how to stop it from happening? That's all I'm saying. It's not a documentary. It's not a documentary,
really
Steve.
There's a okay. There's a really funny scene from Family Guy when Stewie is on the roof and like it's raining, and Michael J. Fox like shows up in the DeLorean with the fires and everything on the wheels. He's screaming and or yelling, and he's like, Michael, I've got some bad news for you. That show, I love that show, making fun of Parkinson's. It's so funny.
So then I watched some more WWE pay-per-views. Okay, old pay-per-views.
Okay,
because I have to. And then
okay.
It's just fun. It's fun.
Yeah,
relive the glory days. I got into some true crime. I watched a true crime show on Netflix called What Jennifer Did. It's a movie, so it's not a mini series, docu-series. It's like an hour and a half, set up in the exact same kind of way, but just not broken up into episodes. It's called What Jennifer Did. It's pretty decent. Newsflash, spoiler alert: What Jennifer Did, not that good. Okay,
really?
It
wasn't good, or what she did wasn't good.
What she did wasn't good.
Oh, she's a bad Jennifer's not a good person.
Jennifer's not a good person. No, Jennifer's not a good person. 0 out of 5 stars. Would not recommend to a friend. Okay, I would recommend the documentary, the docuseries, the true crime thing, but I would not recommend What Jennifer Did to, like, don't do that. So,
or Jennifer as a person.
Well, I don't know where Jennifer is today, but whatever.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So I watched a couple of YouTube shorts, like short films. I shouldn't say YouTube shorts, YouTube short films, or short films on YouTube, or whatever. Both of them came at recommendations from other reviewers. The first one was called Double Dog Dare. The reviewer was like, if you want to be completely and totally freaked out and have your day ruined and blah blah blah, watch this. So I was like, all right, well, I'm game. Let's do that. And then so I watched it and then went, no, this is stupid.
Yeah, I'm already having a sketchy day. Let's ruin it.
My day wasn't ruined. First off, it wasn't that scary. It wasn't. I mean, it was not great. Okay, it was not great. You should still watch it.
No,
but I don't. I mean, yeah. Okay, fine, whatever. I did watch another one. I thought reverse psychology might work there. I watched another short film called The Other Side of the Box.
Mm-hmm.
That one was actually scary.
Really?
Yeah. Huh. I'm sure that you've seen it. I think it's on Alter. I think they're both of no, maybe not both of them are Alter. The first one is definitely, or the Other Side of the Box is definitely Alter. You should watch this one. A lot of people are saying that there are several YouTube short horror films that have become like feature films, and they're like, this one should become a feature film, and I'd be reluctant to go see this as a feature film, but also because I'd just be terrified because I think it'd be really good. Let's see, I watched a couple episodes of Hot Ones.
Okay.
I watched a couple episodes of Are You Garbage podcast. I watched a video of Steve playing the melodica.
I mean, that was fantastic.
Okay. It was
was that horror?
No. This is just what we watched. I'm just telling you what I watched. Okay. And then I watched a movie called The Electric State.
Did you?
It's on Netflix.
Thoughts?
Yeah, brand new movie. Actually, technically, I watched this movie twice because I watched it all the way up until like the last 20 minutes, and then Casey came in and was like, "Hey, is this the Electric State?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she was like, "I'd like to watch that." And I was like, "Great." And I rewound the whole thing, and then we watched the whole thing all over again. 4 out of 5.
Really?
I heard Kit say that it was garbage, it was blah blah blah, and that's what I was like. Oh yeah, fine. Let me see. Hold my beer. Let me see. Because he was like, this is like everything wrong with like mindless plots, and the color scheme is just one color, and like it's all just, he had nothing good to say about it.
Too bad.
I realized that, like, I think you said something about this last week about, it wasn't if you have like critic taste, or if you have like, I don't know, if you're on the Oscar committee or something like that versus just a regular person. Yeah, I'm a regular freaking person, and this was it wasn't the best movie I've ever seen in my life, but it was, according to our ratings.
Oh boy.
According to our ratings, where is that now? Ratings. I would buy the popcorn bucket for this. 4 out of 5.
See, the Electric State it's got 14% tomatoes, bro. Oh, 75% user rating now.
Yeah, because people love it.
So, The Electric State is a book written by Simon Stålenhag, who's a guy from Norway, and it's Noah's favorite piece of media. Period. Loves it. And it's the same guy who wrote the book Tales from the Loop.
Okay.
And the book is so fantastic. It's so good, but it looks nothing like the movie, the trailer I've seen. So Noah has banned us from watching the movie until we have everybody in the house has finished the book. Then we're allowed to watch the movie. But he refuses to watch the movie because he just knows they've destroyed his favorite thing ever. So
now I understand. See, this goes back to the age-old question about which is better. Books are always typically better. I shouldn't say always typically, but like, you get it. Like, for the most part, they're better. And my hypothesis behind this is simple. You get to use your imagination. And the writer also gets to use their imagination and put pen to paper. And so you get to construct this thing. Exactly. You get to, along with the writer, construct this thing in your mind that you love. Mm-hmm. And you get to live in this world and escape in all of the things. And then, if that book becomes popular, more than likely it will become a screenplay, which later will become a movie. And if you don't put it in the right hands, and possibly even if you do put it in the right hands, you're going to make some people upset who have created this thing because it's not. But here's the other thing.
Sure.
They can't put everything. Also, the thing that you imagined is not the thing that your neighbor imagined. So they have to come up with some sort of happy medium. And that does, now you do probably have moments where it completely flops. Stephen King loves the movie The Monkey, and he's like, this is exactly what I freaking wrote. But then he also hates The Shining.
Because it's not what he wrote.
Because it's not what he wrote, right. But Stanley Kubrick, who is supposed to be this brilliant freaking director, was in charge of The Shining, which might be what he's known for most.
Right. So a movie can be made that is completely independent from the book, that's like just shares the same vibe and the same name.
An adaptation.
right. And a director can be a good movie director, but they're not a good adaptation writer,
Right.
for example.
Yeah.
Like Flanagan's got it down. He's the best. But
Well, here's the other thing: is like the Russo brothers are good directors.
Right.
Millie Bobby Brown is a great actress
for their genre. Yeah.
Yeah, Millie Bobby Brown is a great actress. Like everybody in this is great, and I think that you can appreciate both things for what they are.
Right.
But I also understand that how some people might feel like this is one of the best things that has ever happened to them, or it happened to them at a formidable moment, or they read it like it impacted them in a major way, right? And then you get to see the live action thing, the movie, the real thing, and then it completely lets you down. I'm sure people felt the same way about Harry Potter and the Hunger Games, and I mean, what else? Freaking everything's a book.
Everything, yeah.
Everything's a book first. I mean, all of I like both. I read the Da Vinci Code, and I also watched the movie.
Yeah, yeah.
And I like both, but I know that there are some examples where people don't like one or the other, and they typically will like the book more than they like the movie.
Especially if it's the thing about the book you liked, like the aspect, and that's missing.
Right.
So.
Right. Anyway. Yeah. Ready Player One is another example of this.
That's a great book.
It's a great book. I think it's a great movie. I really enjoyed the movie. So, okay.
Yeah. It was a fun movie.
It was fun. It was
I wouldn't say it was good, but it was fun. Yeah.
Yeah. And I thought the same thing about The Electric State. I thought it was just a fun movie, but I also went in blind. I didn't read the book beforehand. I barely watched a trailer. Like I just went in blind. I was like, it's just fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but there's room at the table for everyone. There's room at the table for everyone.
Room at the table.
I would very much like to hear what your thoughts are after reading the book. And, so anywho, let's see. I watched Happy Birthday to Me, which is my assigned movie.
Right.
And then I watched various episodes of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, The Office, New Girl, Parks and Rec, and Everybody Loves Raymond.
Wow.
So I watched all that. And, then had a panic attack on Thursday and Friday. So that's all of that said. An anxiety attack.
You need to watch more horror movies to avoid the anxiety. Get it all out with the movies, Yeah. You don't watch enough horror. You watch too many like happy things and like interesting things and funny things. It's not good for your mental state.
Definitely. Definitely. So what did you watch this week?
We finished the 4th season of Slow Horses. Again, super highly recommended. Not horror. And we watched there's a TV show on Max called Somebody Somewhere, which is really good. It's like a drama thing. I tried to watch the movie. Well, I did watch the movie Daybreakers. Did I tell you about that already? Daybreakers?
You told me about Daybreakers. It was really slow.
That was so bad. And then last night we watched Sweethearts, which has Kieran Shipka in it. It's a 2024 movie. It's like a college rom-com sort of thing. And it was funny. It wasn't great, but it was fun. And what else? I don't know if I watched what else. I didn't watch a lot this week for some reason. I was busy with life. Unfortunately. Well, I haven't, just getting the shrooms. I'm not, haven't, done anything. So
listen, I'll keep saying that you're my shroom guy for the rest of our lives now.
Well, okay.
Even though
Um,
that's not only not true, but I don't do shrooms.
neither do I, actually. So we share that in common.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. I didn't watch a whole lot this week. Weather's been fantastic. I've been like outside doing stuff.
I know
Living my
the weather
life.
has been really good. Yeah.
What do we got going on today here, Zach, in our podcast of doom?
Well, I mean, I think we're ready to rock with the movies.
Let's kick it. Let's kick it.
Yeah.
Who's first?
I think I'm up first there, Bro Cephas.
Right. Well, let's play the little transition thing, and we're going to get going. Take it away.
All right, there, Stevie Weeby. You assigned me a 1981 slasher movie called Happy Birthday to Me. This movie was on my watch list. And this was one of the movies that I put on my watch list to watch during Halloween, like all of October, my horror movie fest. Based on the poster alone, I didn't watch a trailer. It's like how you got to Butt Boy. Like, you click on a movie and you watch it, and then it recommends like, hey, you might like this, so you go to that. So I think it was on Letterboxd or wherever I was, and it was like I was looking at a movie, and then it was like similar to, and this was one of the, and I was like, oh, little shish kebab in the face, that's right up my alley. Come on, let's go.
I mean, yeah, of course.
So I added it just honestly based on the poster alone. That was it. And Steve, do you remember last October what I said about the majority of the movies that I watched? You remember?
Yes, they were trash because you picked them off of the poster only.
Yeah. So that still holds true with this one.
Really?
Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Rotten Tomatoes, 29% upturned popcorn bucket. 42% splat on the popcorn meter. No, I think it's the other way around. I said that weird. 29% splat rotten tomato meter. And then upturned popcorn bucket, 42% audience score. 6 out of 10, though, on IMDb. Don't know where these people are. I don't know where, like, 6 out of 10 is so high in comparison to 29% critics and 42% popcorn meter. 3.1 out of 5 on Letterboxd. Again, don't know where these people are. Where are these people that are giving this movie a higher? It'd be you. We're gonna get into that because I want to know. I want to know your thoughts on this. Okay, this movie is apparently this movie's from the golden age. ChatGPT told me this movie is from the golden age of the genre.
Yeah,
and I gotta tell you, I have qualms with that statement because this movie's garbage.
Well, how could ChatGPT be wrong? How could it be wrong?
It can't be. So, this movie is directed by, let's do non-spoilers, besides the fact that I hated it. Yeah. Non-spoiler review. Mm-hmm. This movie is directed by J. Lee Thompson, known for Cape Fear. This movie stars Melissa Sue Anderson, and Glenn Ford. It follows a group of wealthy high school students who are picked off one by one in increasingly bizarre ways.
Okay.
This movie, it very much is a campy like it fits the campy slasher formula. It feels very much in the like it feels like it's one of the Rush Job movies. Like, we need to keep up with this genre, so let's just run as fast as we can instead of sit down for just even the slightest little bit of time and think about the plot and how we're going to cut this movie together. Okay?
Just slap something up there.
Holy cow. Yeah. This yeah. Let's I'm gonna stop the, because I do want to get into this. I'm gonna stop the spoiler free review right there. Here's my spoiler in-depth review of this.
Go for it. Can't wait.
This film consistently jumps between scenes with little coherence. Little. Like, take the word little and imagine the word little and then subtract more from that word. Little coherence.
Oh, okay.
This plot is needlessly convoluted. And somehow, despite kids going missing, the police are freaking nowhere to be found.
Shocker.
No one has called 911 at all to say, hey, we have students missing. No one calls the parents.
80s. I mean, it was the 80s.
No one is calling the parents.
The TV had to tell the parents to go check on their kids. I mean, come on. It's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your children are?
Dude, this is wild to me. Okay. I'm trying not to look at this through the lens of like a 2025 lens. Like, I'm trying to look at it through 1981 because I do like these movies. This movie was like, at its core, this movie could be good. I've said this before in this podcast. This movie has good bones.
Okay.
But the way that they cut this movie together, the way they cut these scenes together, the way that they tell this story is just like they've never written anything before in their life. I don't even know, dude. And what's crazy is that, like, I mean, this is saying that Melissa Sue Anderson was in Little House on the Prairie.
Yeah.
How did she go from Little House on the Prairie to this?
Well, she probably didn't want to get typecast and then destroyed her career by doing this movie.
Yes, that's accurate. Okay.
I don't know.
So anyway, here's a quick plot. Virginia, Ginny, who is played by Melissa Sue Anderson, is part of an elite friend group at an upscale private school. But when her friends start mysteriously disappearing, she begins to unravel a dark and twisted mystery. One that leads her straight to her birthday party. Exactly. Dun, dun, dun. You do that. Okay, so let's start with the positives. Even though technically I have already started, so this is whatever. This movie is exactly what you could expect in an 80s slasher. Okay? This movie is campy. This movie is exaggerated. And this movie is over dramatic.
Absolutely.
it works within the genre of 80s slasher movies. So I don't have any complaints. The kills are, besides just the random throat slashes, because there are those kills. The kills are creative and inventive, which is a plus, given the fact that, I mean, it is technically still 1981, so it's very early on in that genre. But there are so many different ways that the 80s slasher genre has given us to kill people, like so many examples. Kebab skewer to the throat is, definitely creative. Also, the guy who gets, my problem with that scene is that the guy who gets killed in the movie is not the guy on the poster, and that bothers me.
Yeah, that bothered me too.
It bothers me. Also, the guy on the poster, not in the movie, and I'm very bothered by that.
I didn't realize that.
The kid in the poster does not look like any of the kids in the movie. I could be completely wrong with that, but I didn't recognize him. And he most definitely is not the person who got killed with the kebab. So
right.
I don't really know what the heck is going on there. So that's kind of sloppy. My best kill for this movie is going to go to, you know what? I don't even know what the heck his name is. Okay. There's a scene in the movie where one of the jocks is lifting weights.
Okay.
It's hilarious. He's lifting weights. He's doing the bench press. And the killer comes in. They have black leather gloves on. And apparently their face is fully exposed. Though you never see their face when they're killing people. They're only like chest down, waist down. You really just see the black gloves. But all of the friends are like, hey, what's going on? Like, they know this person. But no one ever goes, why do you have black gloves on right now? And so he's like, hey, put like 10 more on. So the killer goes and he puts 10 more on, 5 over here, 5 over there, ready to rock. Don't forget to lock it down. And he's doing the bench. And then he's like, oh, that's way too easy. Put some more on, whatever. And then, so he does. The killer puts more weight on, and then slides the rest, like the thing that you would hang behind your head, the barbell, slides that rest away from him. He's like, hey, what are you doing? Then the killer goes and picks up a weight and walks over to the jock's nuts. And the camera frames everything in perfectly, because of course it does. And then the killer drops the dumbbell on, or the barbell on to the nuts of the person, and they drop the
barbell.
Yep, onto their throat, and blood spurts everywhere in like one shot. One, like, not spurting, because heaven forbid we put any science with this thing. There's just, he drops the barbell
just
on
streams of blood.
Yeah, no streams, just one spurt.
Oh, okay.
One just spurt of blood, and not even a lot of blood, just like a little bit of blood. Anyway, best kill of the movie. Not even the shish kebab. I was like, well, whatever, because I was too caught up in the fact that like this guy is not. It's cool for the poster, like, oh yeah, whatever. But yeah, anyway, that's the best kill. So my biggest issue with this,
I just really quick, sorry.
Yeah,
I just was looking at the different posters that they have for this on tmbd.org.
Mm-hmm.
And the ones, it's the same picture. They're all the same picture, and it says John will never eat shish kebab again. Steven will never ride a motorcycle again. Greg will never lift weights again. Who's killing the Crawford High's snobbish top 10? At the rate they're going, there'll be no one left for Virginia's birthday party alive. And then it says at the very bottom, 6 of the most bizarre murders you will ever see. It's like, only 6?
Yeah. Well, they only had the budget for 6.
And then at the bottom it says, warning, because of the bizarre nature of the party, no one will be seated during the last 10 minutes. Pray you're not invited. It's like, come on.
I know. It's really bad.
Over the top.
It's really bad. But it fits within the 80s slasher genre.
It
right?
does. And what year was this? 1981. Like
1981. So it's right at the beginning. Yeah. Yeah. So like I said before, my biggest issue with this movie is how they cut the movie together. Because we're cutting from like intense scenes to a motocross race.
Right.
I'm like, what? Like, and sure, we can just transition to another scene, but it's such a stark contrast between like this intense scene and then we're at the soccer game and it's like, what the heck is going on? Or I don't know. How it's cut together. And then all of a sudden, out of just freaking out of nowhere, we're in a hospital with electrodes put on ourselves and we're getting our brain tested. And I'm like, what is happening? Where? Huh? What? I didn't understand the way that this movie, because you could have cut this movie together to make more sense. But the movie was not cut together like that. The movie was cut together by a monkey. And I don't understand. Because it's not the movie. The movie itself is decent for a campy 80 movie. But the way that they cut this movie together, the way that they cut the scenes together, and I'm saying cut because, so you have like the theatrical cut and you have the director's cut, and then you have like, so you could take these movies and cut the scenes together to tell a very different story. Mm-hmm. I didn't know what the heck was going on until the last 10 minutes of this movie.
Okay.
Until all of a sudden we are at her birthday party and you see her.
Huge twist.
Yeah. She has a twin and you're like, what is happening? And then the twin gets her face pulled off in one of the single worst things I've ever seen in my life, but honestly endeared me to the movie more.
Right. It's because, you know.
And then it's her best friend, and she's like, oh, I walked like you and I talked like you. And I was like, oh, are you Baloo from the Jungle Book? What is this? Like, so.
Yeah, I thought the same thing.
Dude, it's freaking great. And also, like, one of the other things that was crazy about this movie was, oh man, I'm literally losing it right now. So there is it might be the main girl and her dad have a very interesting relationship.
Yeah, that's a nice way to say it.
Because at one point I was like, oh, she's just maybe possibly married to an older guy. But then she's like, Dad. She's talking to him like, hey, Dad. And I'm like, well, you guys are real intimate for a father-daughter. Like,
it's a very interesting parent-child relationship. Yes,
it's definitely not. It's not great. It's not great. And I can probably say that, like that should transcend time. Like, if I'm trying to look at this movie from like a 1981 perspective, I don't think anybody in 1981 is going, yeah, that's perfectly fine.
No,
like totally. I don't think anybody's doing that. So, yeah, this. That was the thing. At one point in the movie, these two girls, walk into the supposed killer's lair and see Bernadette's head on like a platter.
Right.
None of them have the appropriate reaction. Everyone is just like, Greg, you're weird. Like, is that like Bernadette? And he's like, yeah. And they're like, ew, gross. Like,
they thought it was like a fake head or something.
I don't know.
I thought that they thought it was like a prop, that he was like a really good prop or something.
That was my thinking. My thinking is either because they know that their friend is missing. She's missing. She was the first one to go. Right. Also, she wanted to die. I'm going to say that out loud. She wanted to die. She wanted to die. And I say that because she didn't run. She kept hiding. She's like, oh, I'm going to go and I'm going to get choked out in this car. And then she kicked the 1970s car door open because apparently that's all it takes. And like she didn't pull the lever down. She just kicked the door repeatedly and it fell off. Whatever.
Sure, yeah.
And so, because why develop safety features in the 1970s?
I mean, that's how I open my car door.
Yeah, exactly. You just kick it and everything's fine. So she escapes, but then she like runs 2 cars over. And she hides. Run, Forrest. Like, get out of you just got someone's trying to kill you. Mm-hmm. Leave. Don't.
But that doesn't align to the rules of the slasher, dude.
I apparently, I don't know. It just didn't make any sense to me. So anyway, I had problems with this movie. My main problem with this movie was not, out of all of that, my main problem with this movie was not the fact that these 2 girls found Bernadette's head or whatever her name is. Mm-hmm. And he pulled out her eyeball at one point. He was like, here's her eye. And like, they were like, oh, you're gross. Like, they didn't have an appropriate reaction. You know, your friend is missing. Her head is on. Like, quit being naive. All the facts are smacking you in the face, you freaking morons. Idiot. It wasn't that. I can forgive that. I can forgive the fact that the girl in the very beginning didn't run. It was the fact that this movie didn't make sense. It was cut together in a weird way, and that genuinely bumped it down to a 1 out of 5 for me.
Wow.
1 out of 5. And it is a 1 out of 5. And the only reason it is a 1 and not a 0 smoking hot turd is because the barbell to the nuts was hilarious to me. That was it. That was it. It was hilarious. My juvenile sensibilities, it was hilarious. Because he's got the bar full arm extended.
Yeah.
Full arm extended. The killer then picks up a barbell and goes over to his nuts. And he's like, what are you doing? Drop the bar, you flippin' moron. Like, don't worry about breaking the metal at your private high school gym. Like, shut up. Like, drop it and protect your freaking sack. You absolute idiot. But also because of that, it was hilarious to me. The fact that he was just like, hey, what are you doing? He trusted that this killer was going to have his best interest in mind. Whatever. He died. And I laughed really hard. But this movie's a 1 out of 5.
So it's a 1 out of 5 because it was cut poorly and you didn't like how the kills went.
No, the kills were not necessarily as creative as maybe I would like them to be. They were fine. They weren't bad. They fit the style of the movie. My only problem with the movie was how it was cut together.
Huh, okay.
And it could be me. But I was lost a lot of the time because we are making these transitions that I'm like, what the heck is happening?
Oh.
Because again, you're going from normal, and then you flash back apparently to where she's having some sort of MRI or brain study, and she can't really remember because she's had some sort of traumatic. And then also, like, there's this bridge in the very beginning of the movie. And they're ramping up the bridge and going to jump the bridge, right? But then the main character, like, they make it, they survive, everything's cool, but she freaks out, gets out the passenger side, and then just runs off into a field. And I was like, hey, where are you going? I was with the jock on that one. And it's rare that I say that, but I was with the jock like, hey, where are you going? And they're like, well, she lives that way. And I'm like, that's the way that you explained that she just runs out into the night. And that's apparently her near-death experience. And then she has like some other maybe relationship with some other older man. Older men are having relationships with younger ladies in this movie, and I don't like it, is all I'm saying, Steve.
And it was a different time.
No, Steve, it shouldn't have been any time. Okay? It shouldn't have been any time. Older men don't need to be having relationships with young. They need to be having age-appropriate relationships.
Yeah, I mean, even
20-year age gap is wild. Okay? And also, she's your daughter.
That's a bigger problem.
I don't know what's happening in that scene. And so, yeah, but then at one point, there was also like some red herrings because, so there's that scene where she comes home and she's having a conversation with her dad and they're having some sort of intimate whatever. And I'm like, hey, this is kind of gross a little bit. And then she goes upstairs and okay, this is crazy. She goes upstairs. You remember this scene? She goes upstairs. She's going to go take a shower, right? Or a bath or whatever.
Right.
She goes into her bedroom to change and she turns on some music. The music does not match the scene that we're watching. Also, there's nothing in this movie that's in other like 80s slasher, like full nudity kind of things.
Oh, yeah.
There's none of that in this. Like she like takes off her shirt. She's still in her bra. She puts on her robe.
Right.
Then she takes off her underwear and the window's open. She notices that the window's open. So there's like this intense music then. She's like, oh, what's happening?
Because women never check the window first.
Yeah. Friggin' women. And don't you know you're in an 80s slasher? Gosh, get it together. And then like look at the camera. The camera's in the bathroom with you. Why is the camera in the bathroom? Anyway, so like at one point she closes the window, but then the window is magically opened again. And then you come to find out later at the dirt bike race, because apparently that's a scene in this movie, that the guy riding the dirt bike had like snuck into her house and stole her underwear.
I forgot that.
And I'm like, what is this movie? I felt like at some point I felt like Nick Cage was going to pop out and that was going to tie this whole thing together and it's going to be this weird Nick Cage movie. But that never happens. Nick Cage did not show up. Anyway, this movie was not bad, though I am giving it a 1 out of 5 stars.
Sounds like
I'm in a weird space. Because last week I crapped all over a movie, but I think I gave it a high rating. I'm like, oh, this movie's fine.
Yeah.
But this week I'm like, this movie's not necessarily bad. It could just simply be cut together better to tell a better story. And
well, I liked it just because it was a little. I mean, it had aspects of the stereotypical 80s slasher stuff, but I like the twist ending, even though it was like so not believable. But I still like the twist ending, and I don't know. It's just I've watched a lot of older movies from like horror movies from the 80s and the 70s, and I generally hate them all.
Yeah.
Not hate, but I mean, but for some reason, I don't know, mood I was in, phase of the moon, who knows what.
Yeah, it was a blood moon. I don't know.
I had fun with it. Yeah, I had fun with it.
This was, like I said, the only reason I'm giving this movie a 1 star is because of the way that it's cut together. And that's only me personally. I don't have anything against this movie. It is a perfectly fine movie. I just think that it could have been maybe directed better or put together better. And because it felt all over the place, I'm like, dude, this movie is, as it is, this movie is trash. I think this movie could very well be cut together better. And, whatever. Maybe that's just me. So,
well,
that's it.
Sorry I didn't love it,
I enjoyed watching it because I was
Okay.
I was lost enough to go, what the heck am I watching? And
Okay. It was like you were lost, but you were intrigued.
I was, yes. So that's what I'm saying. This is a weird thing because I'm not giving the movie necessarily a 1-star rating. I'm giving the way that it was cut together a 1-star rating.
She
So
gave the editor a 1-star. If it was,
whoever's the director of editing needs to get a better job. I don't know.
Director of edit.
I don't know
It's
who
called the editor.
Yeah, the editor to the editor. I don't know.
Who did edit it? Let me see.
I don't know. Some guy.
Deborah Karen.
Dude. Deborah Karen is the whitest name I've ever heard in my life. Deborah Karen?
Yeah.
Is she a white lady?
Yeah, I'm probably. I mean, she did Meatballs, House by the Lake.
What?
The Vindicator. Wow.
I want to watch her other movies just to see
a lot of classics.
What her editing tactic is. Is she still working in Hollywood?
I don't think so.
She died, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah. So anyway, it was fun. It was fun while I was watching it, but it was. And maybe it was just me. Maybe it was just my anxiety and my whatevers. But
well,
very well could be. It could just simply be my own hoopla. But
you don't have to have an excuse.
I was lost the entire time. The scene that really threw me was the fact that she was in for testing. Because I was like, where,
yeah,
what?
There was a lot going on in this movie. They're not sure why it was happening or not or whatever.
Yeah. And I didn't understand the plot. Like, I didn't understand some of the plot points of like, hey, we're at the soccer game now. Hey, we're at cool, you have these extra. What private school has a motocross rally?
I mean, it's not the 80s anymore.
I don't know. So anyway, let's move on to your movie, dude.
Okay. I was assigned the 2005, I believe, horror classic known as Cursed. Not The Curse, just
nope.
Cursed.
Just Cursed.
And it is a movie which is, let us say, cursed.
Yeah.
This movie is something else, Zach.
I know. That's the best part of
it. It's a Wes Craven
It's a Wes
special.
Craven movie. Yeah.
It's a Wes Craven movie. And it's a 2000s. It's like so 2000s core werewolf movie with a bunch of sort of celebrities of at the time. Like they're like, oh, he was in a TV show. Let's throw him in there. And she was, she used to be, and it's a movie that was like so many things and other things in Hollywood, I think, ruined by a Weinstein. I found
For real?
out. Yeah.
This was one of the movies that Weinstein ruined.
Well, so Jeffrey, well, not Jeff, that's Epstein. Anyway, which one? The Crew. Let's see.
It's all the same at this point.
Well, there's Harvey Weinstein. That's the guy who's in jail.
Harvey.
He's an executive producer, but also an executive producer is Bob Weinstein.
Yes.
And I don't know. I didn't know there was a Bob, but there's Bob. And he came along. So apparently the guy, Kevin Williamson, was the writer of this movie. Also wrote all the Scream movies.
Mm-hmm.
I Know What You Did Last Summer. This stuff, like, classics. And so he wrote this movie, and it was a completely different movie. It focused on like a young werewolf dancer in New York City who was attacked by a serial killer, she scratches the guy or whatever, and the serial killer becomes a werewolf, which is like a completely
that would have been a way better movie,
right? That sounds like
Werewolf Ghostface, bro. Werewolf Ghostface would have been fantastic.
That sounds amazing. But what Bob Weinstein came along and wanted a more werewolf-centric story, leading to the significant rewrites and changes to the script, says the internet. And so Craven directed the film, but the final product was not entirely what he envisioned due to Weinstein's interventions, including a new ending and a PG-13 rating instead of the intended R rating.
Dude, boo.
So- Boo. And Craven later reportedly felt that the final version of Curse was, quote, not as strong as the original script and he and Williamson had envisioned. I'm like,
Not
it's
as
a really
strong.
like nice way to say it's crap now.
Yeah, this is garbage.
So he it sounds like it could have been actually a much better like an actual Wes Craven movie, but the Weinsteins had to come and spork it all up. So
Anytime the studio steps in, it's garbage.
yeah,
They ruin
absolutely.
everything. Anytime, just have
think
your
that is,
name,
like-
have your name in the credits, and shut up.
That is
Like-
why I think A24 has been so successful. Not that they are like geniuses. I think they just like they find decent movie makers and they just like do your thing,
Right?
and then you get art and good stuff. Not like the most boiled down, lame,
Yeah.
badly. Oh, everything is bad about this movie. Not everything is bad. Most things bad. But it has people like Christina Ricci. Who is it? Who else is in it? As
Jesse Eisenberg's in this movie.
Jesse Eisenberg playing a
Yeah.
tienager.
Yeah.
Joshua Jackson, Scott Baio,
Uh-huh.
playing himself. Milo Ventimiglia.
Yeah.
And then you got Portia de Rossi.
Yeah.
Um,
I think that's
and
Ellen's wife.
Yeah, Shannon Elizabeth. You've got a lot of people, and
Yeah. There. In other words, there should be no reason
Nick
why this
Offerman.
movie is bad.
right, Craig Kilborn,
Yeah.
come on. Lance Bass,
Lance Bass is in this movie. Come on.
apparently. Anyway, so the basic movie breaks down to early in the movie. There's a crash, and a brother and a sister, Jesse Eisenberg and Christina Ricci, who look nothing like a brother and sister. Maybe they're adopted, fine, but they're like that. Christy was kind of like reading a book on the couch when I was watching this, and she kind of glanced up. She's like, "Are they supposed to be like dating or something?" Like, no, brother and sister. She's like, "Okay, whatever."
Yeah.
And Christy was just tearing this movie a new one like the whole time that she was watching.
You got to
It
hit
was
the
actually kinda
record
funny.
button on your phone and record that. We need to hear
It
that.
was so funny. Like right at the very like they walk in the house and the window's slightly open. She's like, "Who leaves the window open when they're gone?"
Yeah.
And
Well, it was a
Stuff like
different
that.
time. It was a different time.
I know. I'm like, I tried to explain, but So, but then throughout the movie, they're slowly turning into not vampires, werewolves,
Yeah.
and that's kind of like the whole setup of the movie.
Basically.
But people keep dying, and they're like, "Who's doing this?" Because it can't be us, because we're not full werewolves yet. Anyway, that's kind of spoiler freeness of it.
That's
The
the
world
whole
has-
movie.
That's the whole movie. I mean, there's, I'm not going to tell you what happens at the end that Weinstein wanted you to see, but like Rotten Tomatoes, 16%, tomato meter,
Yeah.
30% popcorn meter. Oh my word, 30%.
Yeah. It's not
IMDb 5.1. What? Letterboxd 2.6. Steve's rating 2. Give it a 2 because I love the cast. The cast was fun. That's like that made the movie watchable, like endurable. I could
Yeah.
deal with it because I like Eisenberg, I like Ricci and all these people. I didn't like Joshua Jackson in this at all. I don't see
No,
I don't like
He's
in it at all.
not good in this movie.
No, the entire time he's just like kind of brooding and like every like kind of looking down, smoky eyes, like,
Yeah.
"Hey babe," and then
Yeah.
everybody's going on and on about how he's like the most wanted man, like the wanted man in Hollywood, not wanted by the cops, but like most
Yeah.
attractive man or desired man. That's the word, desired man.
Right.
I'm like, okay. But
Well, is this Dawson's Creek era?
yeah,
Yeah, so that's probably why he was in
it's a little
some
bit after. It's a little bit after
teenage-
I think.
teenage, television show where he's a
Yeah.
heartthrob.
He's the heartthrob. Whatever. I don't get it. Not my type.
Definitely.
But yeah, the movie was
You're
rough
more of
to
a
get through.
Vanderbeek kind of guy.
I'm gonna pretend like I know what that you meant by that and move along.
Dude, Vanderbeek, or is it Vanderbeek? James Vanderbeek he was also in Dawson's Creek.
James Vanderbeek?
James Vanderbeek.
See, this dude, yeah. No.
He's not your type either? Oh, sorry. Okay.
No.
Continue.
No, yeah, I never watched Dawson's Creek. It looked stupid and teen angsty, and I didn't want that in my life.
Yeah, I've never watched it either. I just simply know that these two male actors are in this TV show.
See, I thought James Vanderbeek was Dawson, and it was his creek, and people just wanted to pee in it or something. Is that what it's about?
I think that would have been probably better.
Joshua Jackson kept peeing in his creek.
Something like that. He kept asking, "Can I pee in your creek?"
Yeah.
Dude, stop.
The acting was mid. I think it was honestly more about the directing. So, and after reading, so I watched the movie. I'm like, this is horrible. How can Wes Craven be involved in this? And I looked it up. And I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. That the Weinstein screwed it over. And after looking at it, I think it's partly an editing issue, and probably they forced him to do certain scenes that he didn't want to do or change the ending, all this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't really blame a lot of the actors because I've seen these actors in other things and they're good. And so the fact that this was so badly done, it was just like, it's unbelievable. But, and I was thinking, I also never have seen, I can't think of a movie that I've seen that's a werewolf movie that I've thought, that's a good horror movie. Ever.
Yeah.
And I've started a private list on Letterboxd for all the werewolf movies that I want to see because I'm like, there's got to be good ones out there. Maybe I'm just missing it. You know?
Yeah, there isn't.
It's just me.
It's not. I don't. If you find one, please assign it to me. I would like to see it.
I will do so.
I don't know if there is one, but I'm almost positive that there isn't. Maybe the closest perfect one that we got is, and I say perfect loosely, perfect for the genre, is probably going to be American Werewolf in London.
Yeah, it was not a bad. It was a bit.
That's what I'm saying.
But it's not so bad.
It's perfect for what it is.
Right.
A werewolf horror movie.
Right.
It's because it's better than Werewolves, the movie Werewolves with Frank Grillo. Like, it's better than this one, but it's still not good.
Yeah, it's not good. And Scott Baio plays himself.
Yeah,
and he's such a creep. It's like, and I also officially there's a couple spoilers. I don't have a lot of spoilers just because there's not a lot to say about this movie. But
yeah,
I hate the trope of the nice girl dating the jerk.
Okay.
I hate that. It's just so lame because nice girl, like jerky girls, date jerks that are like outright jerks, like the guy that Milo plays. But nice girls don't date jerks like that for very long. I don't know. It doesn't happen.
Well, they can fix them.
Well, there's that. But the dialogue was horrible. It's killing me. The wrestling scene, okay, with Jesse Eisenberg. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, this is not WWE wrestling. This is like Greek grappling style wrestling at a high school, where 30-year-olds are in high school. And the wig that Jesse had to wear. So I looked this up. Like, Chrissy glanced up and she's like, "That's a horrible wig." I'm like, "It is. You're right." So I Googled it, and they filmed it, I guess, more or less like Wes Craven wanted to do it. And then the Weinsteins came in and screwed it all up, and like, you have to redo these scenes and reshoot some stuff. And by that time, Eisenberg had gone on to do something else, and he had shaved his head for something, so they had to put a wig on him, and it looked completely different and weird and bad.
Yeah.
So you can tell which scenes are later and which were earlier. And they made the sweet little puppy dog go evil. That's the first time I've ever seen a werewolf movie where it affects. It's like kind of a werewolf dog situation.
Yeah, but that was great
at all. It's like,
no,
just his presence near the thing, or did they scratch the dog? Or
I think probably scratched the dog. Yeah.
And okay, the fact that the that Joshua, what is his name? Joshua Jackson.
Creek.
Joshua Creek. He was like the main werewolf guy. Like once he died, they all died, or they all stopped being werewolves.
Is that in werewolf lore that there's a master werewolf?
That's like a vampire thing, right? Sometimes
It is a vampire thing, but you don't stop being a vampire if your master dies.
No, but you die, don't you?
No, you don't die.
Huh. I thought. Well, I guess it depends on which version of werewolves and which version of vampires you're talking about, because there's so many versions. That's another thing. Movie like this, and it's not just this movie. It's and I know it's for the sake of the narrative, but whenever there's like Evil Dead does this, like they're like, "Ooh, we found this Necronomicon or whatever. What is it?" And they have to look up books, or they go to the library and get books about this or that, and they always find the exact book that matches the exact situation they're in, and gives them the right lore, because there's only one kind of lore in this universe. And it's always the right one. Anyway, but the
you can't have conflicting lore.
No, but so Joshua Jackson plays this dude Jake, and apparently he's like ladies' man in Hollywood. He's just like sleeping with everybody. Everybody wants his body, whatever. And he slept with this gal.
Sounds like you're jealous a little bit.
No.
Like, whatever. Who would want that guy? That cool. Jealousy.
No, but they established that if you have sex with a werewolf, you become a werewolf. But there's only one werewolf around.
Wow.
Yeah. She's like, I guess there's no safe sex with a werewolf, is what the gal says. Who what's her name? They thought that she was she played Joni. That's what it was. Judith Therese Evans. Yeah, she was even in Halloween Kills. I forgot about that. Anyway,
oh, that's right. That's right.
She says that at one point. So if this is sleeping around with everybody in Hollywood, but there's only one person who turned vampire or werewolf, I don't know. Whatever. Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't have to make any sense. I want the one where the vampire or the werewolf
vampires, dude.
Where the werewolf attacks the serial killer, or vice versa, whatever.
Yeah,
and the serial killer becomes a werewolf. I want to see that. I want to see that right now.
That would be an amazing. How is that not a movie? That a serial killer attacks a werewolf, the werewolf turns into a werewolf, scratches the serial killer, and then the serial killer becomes a werewolf. And still, like, how is that not a movie?
I don't know.
It's a script that's out there. Somebody's got to make it.
I will say, there is the best werewolf media that I've ever seen. Really like this show. It's called Wolf Like Me. It's on Peacock. It's really, really good. It's like sweet and funny, and it's really good. It's got Josh Gad in it and Isla Fisher, and it's fantastic. It's a really good show. There's a couple seasons of time. I think they're working on another one, I hope. But that's the only positive. That's the only. And it's not a horror movie. It's not a horror show. It's like a comedy drama sort of, mostly comedy. But
got it.
Anyway, enough to say, this movie is kind of a waste of time.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. Well, not spoiler alert, because we're in the spoiler section. He dies at the end. They chop his head off, and they did they stop becoming vampires? Just watched it this morning.
Werewolves.
Vampires.
You keep saying
you can tell that I want this movie to be a vampire movie.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not, though. It's never gonna be.
No, it's never gonna be. Anyway.
Yeah. I think my favorite part of the whole movie was the when the werewolf flipped everybody off.
That was hilarious.
Yeah, because it's so stupid. It's so stupid.
Right. Well, because right before this, she's like, "Yeah, her skin's bad too." Werewolf flips her off.
She's like, "Eh." It's so stupid.
Anyway,
yeah.
So I give this 2 bad wigs.
2 bad, 2 bad wigs.
Yep.
Well.
So, and Christy said after the movie, she's like, "Tell Zach to quit giving you this crap to watch."
Dear Christy, no.
You're
Love
not that
Zach.
nice of a person. Okay, moving on.
I will never.
So, movie for next week. Zach, it's my turn to.
I got another stupid one.
Oh, dude.
It's gonna be great.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it?
Go ahead, Steve. What's my assigned movie?
Let me randomize the list really quick. I forgot to do this earlier. Sorry. I'm gonna go for this one. I think Censor 2021. CENSOR.
Censor from 2021.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You can't edit reality.
No, you can't.
Dude, what is this? 4 stars. Steve rated this 4 stars.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a Mike Flanagan liked movie.
It's a Mike Flanagan liked movie. Well, okay.
But yeah, I like this movie. It was a bit of a trip.
All right, Steve.
Go ahead.
I'm going to assign you a different movie than what I was initially going to assign you.
Uh-oh.
I'll postpone the movie that I was going to assign you for a later date.
Okay. Feeling guilty?
No, I'm not feeling guilty because I'm going to give you another bad one. But
oh, great.
The question is which one?
That is the question.
Okay. Here it is. I'm going to give you this one. You've not seen this one yet, and you want to watch it. You've seen the original. This is the remake.
Oh, okay.
Can you guess what movie I'm talking about? The original, we talked about this extensively, how the original is significantly better than the remake, but the remake is an American version of the movie.
Nosferatu.
No.
Oh.
No, there is no American version of Nosferatu.
Yeah, it's one that's just made it one.
We already watched that. Why would I assign you a movie that you've already seen?
No.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Spit it out, dude.
Speak
Kill
No
me.
Evil.
Speak No Evil.
Well, yes. Are you Mario?
It's me, Mario.
Yeah, that's the movie. 2024. Speak No Evil.
2024. Okay.
It's well, nothing is gonna beat. Here's the thing: is that nothing is going to beat the ending of the original Speak No Evil. That's a wild ending,
right? If they aren't naked in a quarry getting stones thrown at them that there's no way they could run away from, it's not going to be any good.
Yeah, here, take one step back and the stone won't hit you. Like, you're down in a freaking quarry. They got to run down there. They can't. It's maddening. They're like, oh,
that movie had me until that scene, and honestly, until they, it's driving me crazy.
Okay, I'm excited for you to watch this one. Hopefully, this one is at least slightly better and not as maddening. But you know, I'll give you a break from the bad movies. Or I shouldn't say that because this movie might be bad. I'll give you a break from the purposefully bad movies.
Well, you know, I've heard mixed reviews on this one, so I know.
Yeah.
I'll try to watch it as though I have not known about the first one.
No, you should not do that. Watch this one with that one in your mind. Yeah. You have to compare them. You have to compare these two movies.
Okay, I will compare.
Yeah.
We will go scene by scene next week, scene by scene, dissecting it and comparing every single aspect of it. Maybe we'll go character by character or like plot point by plot point. Oh, let's do that. Cut by cut.
You go frame by frame. And we're gonna go frame by frame.
Better.
Next week's episode is going to be 4 hours long.
Nice.
We're going to go
wait.
frame by frame. It's going to be great.
Oh, you gave it 3.5 stars. It's not too bad.
I did give it 3.5 stars. It's not necessarily a bad movie. The first one's better though. The original's better.
Yeah. Well, James McAvoy is pretty decent, in general. And
Yes.
I like the Mackenzie Davis as well. So we'll give it a shot.
Great.
All right. Have a nice rest of your day
Yes.
and stuff.
You as well.
I swear you're fine.
I am
You'll be
swearing
okay.
that I'm fine.
Okay. I'll talk to you later.
All right, see you. All right, listeners. That's a wrap for another episode of Horrors Yet Unseen. Thanks for joining us.
And we'd love for you to become part of the conversation. Just drop us a voicemail at 1-216-202-5495 or email us at horrorsyetonunseen@gmail.com. And keep up with the latest by following us on Instagram. That handle is at horrorsyetonunseenpod. We'd also appreciate it if you like and review our show on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Your support means a lot to us. See you next time.